We will be looking now at how to wash your face and brush your teeth in safe spine position as recommended by the National Osteoporosis Foundation. So if we could imagine that you're over a sink and you're washing your face or you're brushing your teeth or maybe putting in your contact lenses and you're bending over like this to get to the sink. This is a very common strategy that people use. However, that would not be safe for someone with bone loss in the spine. So again, we want to use our dowel to place it behind the back, the head, mid-back, and sacrum, and then finding out how deeply do we have to actually bend to get our face over the sink. One of the things I always tell people is try not to use too much toothpaste because then you don't have it dripping down your mouth. That's one thing that's helpful. And making sure that you're not rounding your back as you're hinging, as you're leaning over the sink. So let's try it. So again, putting the dowel against the back, hinging at the hips, bring your head to the stick. Yeah, so lifting up. Yeah, so that's right. She's still wanting to bring her face down. So lift your hips and draw your face down. There you go. So you're bending your knees a little bit and your body's more perpendicular to the floor. And then if you could even lift your face and head a little bit more and draw the shoulders down. Good, right there. And then bring the hands to the face. Exactly. That looks good. Now, what's great about this, you can go ahead and stand up, is that when you stand there for a long period of time, then you're actually building strength in your legs and you're building endurance in your back extensors, which is, again, great for prevention of fracture. The other thing is once you start to brush your teeth, if you don't use too much toothpaste and too much water, if you can stand up tall and brush your teeth, you could even stand on one leg and brush your teeth. Do a little multitasking. Just don't stab yourself with a toothbrush, right? and then stand on the other leg. And then again, if your balance is very challenged, you wouldn't want to do that while you're brushing your teeth because you don't want to hurt yourself with your toothbrush. But those are some things that you can try to incorporate in your life on a regular basis to help prevent falls and help prevent fractures. Those are recommendations for washing your face and brushing your teeth when you have to lean over the sink from the National Osteoporosis Foundation. We'll be going over some techniques for making the bed and also getting in and out of bed with proper technique to help prevent spine fractures from the National Osteoporosis Foundation. So most of the time what I see is when people get in and out of bed or when they're coming to my clinic and I'm showing them how to get in and out of bed or get on and off the table, they'll do this. Swing the legs up and then roll down onto their back. And then when they come up, it's like, throwing the arms up and then trying to get up. So what happens with that a lot of times is that people will put an undue amount of force on the spine in order to get up and down that puts the spine at risk for fracture. So what I'd like to do is show you a few techniques to be able to protect the spine from fracture, which also is really great for low back pain if you have a low back pain episode, for getting in and out of bed and actually making the bed safely. So Shandi, please come over and stand in front of the table here. And sit down first. And what you want to do is kind of measure the distance as to where your head would go. So you pretty much want to sit in the middle of the bed and then scoot back all the way into the bed before you actually lay down. Then you go onto your elbow, keeping your spine lengthened, swing your feet up, and then lay down. So you go on your side first. If you try to hurry to get to your back, then that puts you at a compromised position. Then you roll over onto your back, and then you can go into your preferred sleeping position. And recommended sleeping positions are a little bit different for a lot of people. If you have shoulder pain, you might not be able to sleep on your side. If you have back pain, you may not tolerate sleeping on your back. So what you want to do is find the position that supports you the best. If you want to sleep on your side, you don't want to sleep curled up like a fetal position. What I recommend a lot of times is taking a nice pillow, putting it under the neck, laying onto your side if you want to sleep on your side. And then think of lengthening your spine first before you actually go to sleep. And then you could also put a little pillow under your rib cage, right under the rib cage, putting a small pillow there that actually helps you get off of your shoulder. So sometimes that allows people to sleep on their side if they have shoulder pain. But again, the main thing is that you get long in the position and you avoid a fetal curled up position when you go to sleep, because you certainly don't want to be there for 8 hours. It's going to predispose you to forward bending posture. Now, when you get up, same thing. You want to roll to your side first to come up. Swing the legs off the table first, then push yourself up, staying long in the spine, right? And come up to sitting like that. Okay, Sandy, let's go ahead and come around to the back, and we're going to talk about how to make the bed properly. So again, most of the time people will round their back to reach across the bed to pull the covers up. And what we want to do is have you brace your knees against the bed and then hinge at your hips, getting the dowel and placing it against your back, and take the edge of the covers and keep the dowel against the 3 points of contact. Okay, now you got to change your spine first. You're in a rounded position, so come back up. There you go, finding those 3 points of contact. That's it. And then being able to put weight on this hand. Instead of just putting your fingers down, go ahead and put significant amount of weight on that hand, and you'll have a good support for your back. That's it, and then pull the covers up. Exactly. Keep the chest lifted. That's it. And then coming back up to the vertical position. Excellent, that's great. So those were recommendations for making the bed positioning for sleeping, and then getting in and out of bed safely from the National Osteoporosis Foundation.